housing was something Charlie talked a lot about. Gen Z getting skin in the game, buying into the American dream, not becoming a bunch of raging socialists. And we see home ownership as a very key component of the American dream, of getting into the economic ladder. So this 50-year mortgage idea hits. It really was going to be the lead story unless the government shutdown news broke last night. And why this is key is because it's reeking of debt slavery to a lot of people.
Yeah,
50 years.
We should set this up and just, what Trump said about it.
Well, let's set it up. So basically, just so you know, we've been talking about this independently. I think it's been getting into the ether, this Gen Z economic moonshot. How do we get Gen Z to buy into the American dream? It was one of Charlie's biggest messaging components in the last couple months of his life. And then Blake, go ahead and tell us. So Trump.
Yeah. So do we have this? Sorry if we don't have this because I'm dropping it on the show team right away. But if we have that, because I think this basically started with Trump just posting this on Truth, where it might have been, I'm not sure what generated this, but it was Great American Presidents, and it showed 30-year mortgage. President FDR, because that, I don't know if he invented it, but it was like standardized under a lot of his New Deal programs. Yep, there we have it there. And then it has 50-year mortgage, President Trump. And then that same day on Saturday, this is when it happened, the admin confirmed, the FA director, Bill Pulte, kind of said, we're working on this and other big changes to mortgages. And it created a lot of reaction because the 30-year mortgage, as it currently is you pay, you pay for your house for 30 years. So let's say you bought it when you were 25 or 30, you're probably fully paying it off around the time that you're reaching your late middle age or early retirement period. 50-year mortgage, as you said, it makes you raise an eyebrow a bit because, let's say you're a 35-year-old, kind of millennial, and you don't own a house yet. You maybe finally got married. You finally had a kid. You want to buy a home. A 50-year mortgage, that goes from you are paying this off around the time you retire to you will likely not pay this off before you die.
So, if you do the math here, so a medium home price in America is $500,000. I'm going to use round terms. It's just to say it's approximately $500,000. If you, at the prevailing interest rates of about 6% right now, if you have a $500,000 home and a 30-year mortgage, you're going to pay about $500,000 more in interest over those 30 years. So a $500,000 home is actually $1 million home. Mm-hmm. If you add 20 years to the mortgage, so it becomes a 50-year loan.
Triples it, correct?
Well, a $500,000 home then will cost you more than $1.5 million over the time of that loan.
Doubles the interest.
So even though it's 20 more years, it doubles it. Yeah. So the interest, the way that they calculate interest, it more than doubles it. So you're essentially tripling the cost that you would have to pay for as opposed to paying cash up
Now,
front.
I should caveat that it is over 20 years, which if you have an interest spike, which we've had a big interest spike the last 5 years, that can, if you're in at a lower interest rate, that can radically reduce the effective amount that you are paying. So it's double the amount of interest, but you can kind of bake in that there will be continued inflation in the U.S. currency over that time span.
Yeah, so here's my basic point, and I want to put this up. This is from Bill Pulte. You mentioned it before, image 92. I think the admin got the message pretty quickly that this was not the type of solution that we were looking for. Now, my glass is a little half full on this, and I'll explain in just a second. He says, we hear you. We are laser focused on ensuring the American dream for young people, all caps, and that can only happen on the economic level of home buying. A 50-year mortgage is simply a potential weapon in a wide arsenal of solutions that we're developing right away. Stay tuned. So I want everybody that was blackpilling on this, because there is this growing sense that a lot of this economic populism is phony. It's fake. It's a paper tiger. It's a PR. It's an optics thing. Where's the actual conservative economic populist idea, right? So, but to this point, I was talking with some very well-known conservative influencers and thought leaders really over the weekend. And one of them's really into business, got a lot of businesses, got a lot of, he understands the way, to leverage interest, to leverage debt, all these things. And his point was listen, man, if I could have got a 50-year mortgage at 3% interest rates and I could have got much more house for my money, I would have taken that any day, wait till my income shot up a little bit, refinance back to a 30, and then I'm locked in. And I will say that potentially this addresses let's say 5% of the problem.
It's hopeful, and it's an idea out there. It's probably not what I would have led with.
Exactly. I mean, that's the key. That's the key.
Yeah, if it's an option that is better than a 30-year for you, you should take it. But I don't think we can say, oh, we rolled out a new type of mortgage where you won't pay it off till you die, and say that is the ideal thing. And this is an issue, as we mentioned. Charlie was very passionate about it. So let's loop in one of Charlie's clips on this, and let's get why this is important. This is Charlie explaining why not owning creates so much political radicalism in America. Clip 49.
If you have a generation that does not own stuff, then all of a sudden political radicalization starts to seep in. I have a question for all of you in the audience, and this should hammer it home. It's from my friend Frank Turek, and I told him as soon as he said it, I said, I'm going to steal this one, Frank. When was the last time you washed a rental car? When you rent a car from Hertz or from Avis, do you wash it? Do you go get the oil checked on that rental car? Of course not. It's not yours, and you know it. You're borrowing it. And it's no different than how people are living in apartments endlessly till they're 32, 33. They have 2 kids and they have to rent because the access to the housing market is so impossible. You have an entire generation that is on the outside looking in, and that is a prerequisite for a political revolution if we don't turn renters into owners.
One more clip, and then we'll go to ads and we'll ask for emails. Let's do 52.
The first time since George Washington that this generation has it worse off than their parents at the same age. It has not happened, not even during the Great Depression. It was about the same. This generation is significantly worse off. And the problem, this is what no one mentions. We're not poorer. You would think that the country's gone through an economic tailspin the last 15 years. Okay, your young people can't afford homes, and they're putting groceries on credit, and they're killing themselves, and they're socially isolated, and they're addicted to benzodiazepines and Zoloft. It's obvious you guys went through a terrible economic catastrophe.
Right. You lost a war, yeah.
If you look at the economic conditions, you would think the other conditions surrounding it are abject poverty. These are the problems that third world nations have.
I know.
Our young people can't afford stuff, and they have to finance their basic necessities. And yet we're the wealthiest nation in the history of the world on the planet.
Yeah, this is people in the audience. This is the key issue of our time. This is what's giving rise to Mamdaniism and Magionism. We must address it.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.